Good Thursday afternoon to you. Paul Swanson here. And yes, it's summer, so we had to put on a summer shirt. Um, Something like that, anyway. Hope your Thursday is going well. I just got off a call that reminded me of this call and something else I was involved in or went to at an event I went to earlier in the week. And yes, I've been out in the sun mowing the lawn, and so I got a little sun up here. I guess I need a cap or hat or something like that. Anyway, let's see. All the usual social media suspect places. Paul Swanson, PaulSwansen. Also, the Swanson Report. You can Google either of those, and you can find us where we write, talk, do videos like this, etc., etc. I just got off a call with a national organization. It's a monthly call. They call me it's my time, so I can choose to answer or not, or if the subject matter is particularly poignant or interesting, stay on the call. And this time, though, they called. I got on the call, was listening to their presentation, and the presenter could not get through two sentences without going So he would da 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 and so after about 2 minutes of that, I said, forget that. It gets to the point that it's painful to listen to. And you would think a national organization that has a fair amount of money, I would presume, they would especially instruct and or teach their presenters a certain amount of etiquette or how to speak in public and to get your point across. Now, I'm not doing it quite because I'm just doing this off the cuff. I have nothing prepared. Yes, and that brings up another issue. We stream all of our video content here at the house. We don't have a satellite provider. We don't have a cable TV provider. So news, information, entertainment, that sort of thing all comes through a Roku device, which is hooked up to our internet. And so we watch a lot of things on YouTube. There are quite a few YouTube channels which use these optical character recognition, voice-generated readers. And some of them are just simply awful. They are as painful to listen to as this live person was here just a few minutes ago. So I don't know why the people who are using these types of readers on YouTube to do their presentation, I don't know if they think it makes them sound good or bad, or English isn't maybe their first language. You know what? You can farm that out. I'd be more than happy to talk to you about let's come to some arrangement about me doing your voiceovers. So the other thing, and we were talking about this with my friend Willie Lawson and I were talking about this earlier this week. Willie is the host of the Willie Lawson Show on TECN TV. You can find him on Facebook, Willie Lawson, WILLIE LAWSON, Fight Back Media, hashtag Make the Switch. Any of those places you can find Willie and all of his various plethora of goings on in the wonderful wide world of the internet. But Willie and I were talking about communities earlier this week. We live at opposite ends of the country. He lives in Tampa. I live up here in northern Wisconsin, about as I said, at a remote northern outpost in northern Wisconsin. about as far north in Wisconsin as you can get without being in Canada. And despite our, the miles and the geographical distance, there's a whole lot of similarities between our two communities. They're small communities. They have their own set of issues and problems and likely solutions. That being said, I went to and I have it, where is it? It's right here. Look at this. Oh, that's not it. Oh, no, here it is. Aha! See, I have visual aids here. I went to this event on Tuesday night. I think it was Tuesday. Yep, it says right there, Tuesday. Over here at the Big Top Chautauqua, and which is is a great place for music and history and local cultural items and the like. But this was entitled Creating Community. It all comes down to you, or creating community and preserving the common wealth. It all comes down to you. It was put on by the local Alliance for Sustainability, and whatever you might think about that, I don't know. I haven't done enough information. I haven't done enough of my own due diligence on this. The gentleman who was the keynote speaker was Stan Grzinski, who was the former USDA Rural Development State Director for Wisconsin, and he also was appointed by former President Obama to that position. Gave a very good talk. I was pleasantly surprised. There were some political undertones and all, but it was a very fair, even-keeled talk. He was talking about community and what we could do to maintain and grow the community and sustain the community, such as it was, or such as it is, I should say. There were, I don't know, there's a whole slew. There were probably 30 or 40 local and statewide community-type organizations that were represented there for the evening. They had a tent set up with, and the various community organizations had tables, and you could talk to the people of the organization, and they would try to sell you stuff or wanted you to become a volunteer, which is fine. There's some worthwhile things there to do. Like I said, the keynote speaker was very good, very even keel. I don't know if I want to say a generic talk, but a very all-encompassing talk about how organizations that were there and individuals who were there looking to maybe lend their support in either time or money or volunteering for several hours a week or something like that. The interesting thing I found in listening to, because I walked through the tent and got a fair sense of the various groups that were there, and then each of the groups that were represented got a 2 to 3 minute shot up on stage of the Big Top to promote their organization. What I found interesting in these presentations, unfortunately they were only 2 or 3 minutes, and the moderator very adroitly told the crowd gathered that they should hold their applause overall until the end of the presentations, because all of the presentations, because otherwise we'd have been there till today. But it was interesting. It occurred to me after about the first 4 or 5 presentations that a lot of these people who were up there presenting were simply reading off prepared remarks. They were sitting there. They had paper with them, or note cards or 3x5 cards or something like that. I don't think anybody had written stuff on their hands or anything, but they had all prepared remarks. And it occurred to me that if you are a member of a local organization that is passionate about whatever, you're passionate about the weather or clean water or saving the turtles or endangered flora and fauna and animals or what have you. I mean, there was, like I said, there was a wide variety of groups that were here. That if you're really passionate about this and you're currently volunteering for this, a particular organization, that you could speak from the heart. And I really didn't see that in but a handful maybe of the groups that the individual who came up and spoke really spoke not so much, it wasn't reading notes, but was really speaking from the heart, and you could tell that they were passionate and really interested and really living what they were doing and why they were there supporting that, why they were supporting that particular organization. Excuse me. It's interesting that to bring this back full circle, in Tampa this week, and this has been going on over the country, sort of all over the country for the past several months. A lot of the Confederate war memorials and things like that are being taken down. And Hillsborough County in the Tampa, Florida area has done the same. They have decided to move a Confederate war memorial that has been by the county courthouse since 1911, I believe. They've decided to move that elsewhere. And because people were triggered or they didn't feel safe, they were basically they didn't, it was the war memorial spoke about racism and such. And I've got to agree with Willie's assessment of the whole situation. Is okay, so now that the city council there or the county commissioners have passed this this recommendation that the war memorial be removed, so come tomorrow, or in this case today, but come this tomorrow and the next day and the next month and the next 6 months, are you really going to feel more secure since the war memorial has been removed? Was that a real? Was that a real highly important priority for the community? Is the community going to be safer? Is the community going to have better streets, better roads, better fire and police protection? Are they going to have better schools? Are the young and in converse the elderly going to have better health care because the war memorial has been removed? Now, we don't have war memorials up here in northern Wisconsin, at least not Confederate ones. At least not I'm aware of. Now, if somebody wants to correct me on that, hey, that's fine. You can do that. I'd be more than happy. But I don't know. I really haven't looked because we're so far north. There would be a war with Canada or the French Canadians way back in the 1800s, something like that. But again, and trying to wrap this all up, it's been interesting to see how our communities are very much aligned, very much have a lot of the same similar types of issues and problems, but yet we're separated by some 1,500, almost 2,000 miles. and the demographics are totally different, but yet we all have the same types of issues to deal with on a daily basis. So that's about it. We're going to put this up on YouTube. We will put things in the show notes at the bottom of the page, where you can get hold of us. And if you like what we're doing, hit the like button. Share this with your friends, neighbors, for people that you think this might be of some value. And of course, if you do find this valuable, please, we've got links in there on how you can support us on one time or on a monthly basis. So thanks for listening. Have a great rest of your Thursday, and we'll talk with you all again real soon.